you'll see that it's a very simple shape. This isn't a rectangle, but it's kind of like we took a rectangle and edged it in. And now we're going to add those triangles. And this is great for creating any sort of cartoony body. And we've got, remember how we draw Max with the upside down triangle for the nose. Got the ovals for the eyes and the letter C. Okay, so are you drawing along at home? I hope so. And now it's time to draw the body. So of course, oh, let's not forget his mouth. And Max has lots of different faces. Like, it's always good to practice facial expressions on characters. Draw them sad, draw them mad. Sometimes I'll add eyebrows for Max. Okay, so now it's time to make this salt shaker into his body. Let's add kind of triangle or some lines so this becomes a t-shirt. And I'm going to draw, he wears, it's pretty much looks like if you took a bath towel and made it into a cape. And the way I do that circle, and this looks kind of like a leaf, and then I just do kind of a swoop for his cape. Swoop, swoop. Can you do that at home? It even helps when you say swoop sometimes. Okay, so we've got part of his cape here. Now let's do his arms. Okay, I'm just going to take 2 lines out like that. 2 lines. And now if you've ever drawn puffy clouds, you'll see that you can draw Max Meow's hands. We're going to just add some puffy hands here. You can make them more complex. Sometimes I'll draw Max's hands, but you got to practice this. I'll draw them kind of like Mickey Mouse hands. But right now we're going to use the puffy cloud. Okay, so now we've drawn Max's shirt. And let us add 2 more partial rectangles. And that's going to be his shorts. Because Max, he doesn't wear his shorts on the outside like Superman. He just wears shorts. He doesn't have, you know, he's not like Captain Underpants. But, and then again, we're going to do 2 more lines here. And then we add, so here's where we're going to add an oval for his feet. But the thing is, I like to think of them more like baked potatoes. It's like if you took 2 sticks and stuck them into a baked potato. It's a good way to think about it. And I draw a line across to make these like boots. Because if you look, this is what Max looks like. He's got his mask, a cape, his shirt, shorts, and his boots. And we want to do some lines for his paws to show that he is a cat. And then there's just a couple more things we have to do when we're going to have drawn Max Meow. Now, Max, like a lot of superheroes, has a logo on his chest. And I'm a big fan of lightning bolts and stars. In this case, Max has a lightning bolt. And the way you do a lightning bolt is you do a zigzag, you do a line across. And this can be tricky. You got to practice this. You do another zigzag, but have it meet at the bottom. And we're all done. Oh, we got to add the back of his cape. And finally, the final thing is a tail. Okay, and I always draw little zigzags coming off the tail because Max has an electric tail. The superpowers he has are strength, he can fly, and an electric tail. But the thing I have to warn you is his electric tail is kind of out of control. So the first time he tries to rescue somebody, a guy is stuck in a tree, and he does not seem to be able to get him out. So what he does is he actually zaps the tree, and all it does is knock all the leaves down and fry the guy's hair so it's sticking straight up. So Max, in this first book, has a lot to learn about being a superhero. So I've shown you how I draw Max, and I need your help now. And maybe you all can help me create a superhero. And the way we are going to create a superhero is to do what I like to call a mashup superhero. And if you know what a mashup is, there's music, there's audio, and you can combine songs in movies or videos. You can combine 2 videos. We're going to do a mashup superhero. So I hope you'll draw along at home. And again, you don't have to draw what I'm drawing, but you can. And hopefully you'll enjoy that. Okay, so Ms. Taylor is going to be looking at your Q&A suggestions. And the first thing I need is a suggestion of what is a really cool animal. What is a really cool, tough animal that we think is, really neat, and maybe even a mascot? So
wolf, panda, lion, armadillo, bear.
Panda, lion, armadillo, bear. Oh, those are all. Cheetah.
Banana slug.
Uh-huh.
Tiger.
Did I hear a man slug?
Banana slug.
Oh, banana slug. Okay. Because I was going to say that's a mashup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to go with. How about, since it's your mascot, let's go with the cheetah. So I'm going to write cheetah down. And I think I did a lion the last time. I did one of these talks, so we'll do cheetah. Now, can I get a really neat sport? A sport that maybe you like to play or watch? Let's see, there's lots of different ones out there.
Hockey. Oh, that's my personal favorite.
Ah,
Soccer.
are you a Capitals fan? Oh, it looks like I'm locked here. I'm not sure if you all can see me. Ms. Taylor got stuck for a second. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go with hockey since that was I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Tennis?
Now I can.
Okay, so, tennis, soccer, football, golf, gymnastics.
Very cool. I'll tell you what. Let's go with tennis. Let's try tennis. Those are all great answers. I don't know if I've ever done a tennis one. So we've got cheetah, tennis. Now let's think. What would be a really fun superpower that our hero could have? Superpower.
Okay, let's see. I'm waiting for some. It's
okay.
safe. I do have to give him time to type. So telepathy, flying, invisible, breathing fire, reading people's minds, time travel.
Ooh, that's good.
So
those are some good ideas. I'll tell you what, because I want to stay visual, because if I do invisibility, I'm already done. See, I already did, or it's our character in a snowstorm. But I'm going to add, let's do fire. Let's give our hero fire powers for this one. And if you don't like what we're doing, you could try something different or do this, and then you can do a different mashup later. And then finally, let's see, I'm going to pick 3 colors. Which of these 3 colors should we do? Blue, orange, or green? Which of those would be a good color? You can chime in with that.
Lots of blues, lots of blues. I think it's blue. I'm seeing lots of blues.
Okay, well, we'll go with blue for that. Okay, so it's time to draw our superhero. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to give you a little bit more of an insight into how I create comics, because I've drawn Max Meow thousands of times. So of course I can just draw him practically not even looking, which I don't know if you want to see that. But what I often will do when I'm drawing on paper is I'll draw very lightly in pencil. And I don't know, you can probably see that a little bit. And I draw lightly because when I go back to ink it, I'll actually erase my pencil lines. And if you dig in your pencil too tight, and I used to do this, I'd get so tense that I'd be like, and then it leaves ridges in the paper. So I'm going to just use a blue pencil, blue crayon, like I'm doing a pencil. And here's our salt shaker. Remember that? We've got a salt shaker. And now it's time to create our superhero. So if we're creating the superhero, what I want to do is first we want to give our superhero a mask, right? And then we've got a cheetah. So let's give our hero a cheetah mask. I don't know. I haven't really drawn a cheetah very much, but I'm going to kind of do my best to give this character a cheetah mask. And of course, I know cheetahs have, let's see, let's give some eye holes here. And she just has spots. And they kind of look tough, I think. So, and maybe we can see that the person is under here smiling. They've got cheetah. Another thing superheroes often have are capes. And since we've got a fire superhero, and we don't want to forget the tennis part, let's add a flaming cape. It looks like it's on fire. Maybe it's not on fire. I don't know if any of you have ever read the Hunger Games books, but there's one where Katniss, the main character, has this dress that looks like it's on fire. I think that's so cool. So this is the start of the fire cape. Now let's get into, we got cheetah, fire, tennis. What can we do for tennis? I think let's give, and you know, I don't know, Ms. Taylor, do you think we should make this a boy or a girl?
Oh, I'm all about girl power. So let's make it a girl.
I'll tell you what, yeah, because the last time I made a superhero, and if we have time, I'll make a sidekick really quick, and the kids can chime in what a silly animal might be that they would want. But I'm gonna make this a girl, so I'm just gonna give her some like flowing. We'll pretend like she has flowing red hair, and let's give her a tennis racket. But maybe it's a tennis racket that shoots fire. So it's a flaming tennis racket. And we've got that. And here's her tennis racket. Now, I didn't really add her shirt there. It's kind of hidden. So let's give her her shirt, and we can give her some gloves. And let's have her holding a tennis ball. Okay, so she's got a tennis ball here. And maybe she has like these powerful tennis balls, and each tennis ball does a different thing. We'll give her like a utility belt, like Batman has, and then she's got different kinds of tennis balls. And what could we use for the logo? Because remember, superhero Superman has an S, Spider-Man has, what is it, a spider, and Batman has, of course, on his chest a frog. That doesn't seem right. I guess a bat. It's probably a bat. Otherwise, he'd be Frogman, right? Okay, so let's do a tennis ball with flame coming up. And I'm going to give her, only because it's appropriate. Like superhero women don't have to have skirts. Wonder Woman doesn't wear a skirt. I like her costume in the movies. It's kind of like armor. Let's give our cheetah hero like an armored tennis skirt, because I know a lot of the women tennis players wear that. And then let's give her some really cool boots that have like fire on them. I know tennis players usually use sneakers, but I think superheroes look good with boots. And so basically, using your ideas, let's not forget, we want to give her a lot of blue. And I'm just coloring this in really, really quick, and maybe give her blue boots. And then for the fire, let's add some fire here and on her cape. And she's got a cheetah outfit, so let's add a little yellow. I know this looks kind of sloppy, but you know, we're doing this really quick. You'll have a little time to perfect this at home. So congratulations, boys and girls. In just a few minutes, you have actually all created a superhero. So I hope you're giving yourselves a round of applause at home. So, that's the bat phone. So you think I'm kidding. It's literally a bat phone. Now let us, Ms. Taylor, did anybody have any suggestions for our silly sidekick?
I did not see any. I'm seeing some other things, and I've got some questions, but did you want to get some silly sidekick ideas first, and then I can throw
and I can be drawing while I'm answering questions. So
perfect. Okay.
Do you have any ideas for a silly animal I could do as a sidekick?
I see llama.
Llama. That's good.
Beetle.
A beetle.
Squid. Hippo. Elephant.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to draw a squid sidekick. And that's the boy, of course, because we had a girl hero. So
That's right.
I'll draw that, and then you can ask Miss Taylor if you have any questions.
Okay, and I've been writing some questions down that were showing up in Q&A as well. So one of the students wanted to know where you got the idea for Max Meow and if Dogman inspired you at all.
Okay, well, the way I got the inspiration for Max Meow is I was teaching an after-school comics class to a bunch of elementary school kids exactly your age. And, and when I teach these classes, there's always kids that they know just what they want to draw. So I just walk around and be like, hey, good drawing. What's that? But I had some kids that were really nervous. They didn't know what to draw. And that probably happens to some of you. So what I did was we grouped together and we kind of did that mashup superhero idea, just like we just did. And, I said, like, what books do you all like? And someone said Smile, and someone said Amulet, and another one said Dogman. And they all said, yeah, Dogman. And I'm like, okay, well, there's already a dog book, so let's do a cat one. And we created a character called Captain Cat. And we had so much fun creating it together. Like, I drew a little, I wrote a little, they drew a little, they wrote a little. And the next week I came back to class and they're all like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Captain Cat? And I realized we had this really great idea. So with my son, Will, who was 10 at the time, we changed his name to Max Meow, Cat Crusader. And we put together the story. And I'm a big fan of anything that Dave Pilkey does. So I think it's great if anyone ever compares it. But so I would say he and all the other great comic book characters like Superman and Batman, they're an inspiration as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm combining a couple of questions with the next one. Some students want to know how long you've been making comics, how did you draw so well, and how long did it make you to make this book in particular? I know there's 3 parts to that. I hope you can get all 3 of those.
Yeah, well, I've been drawing since I was about 5 years old. And what happened was I was reading comics and I was watching cartoons, and a cartoon called The Super Friends came on, which starred the Justice League. And I was just so enamored of that I watched it as much as I could, which back then was only on Saturday mornings. And then my mom and I were at the store and I found my first comic book, which was the character Shazam. And remember I talked about liking lightning bolts? Shazam, or Captain Marvel as he was called back then, had a lightning bolt. And that was one of the inspirations. And then what happened was I was about 5, I decided to make my own comics. So I've been doing comics for almost all my life, which is, I'm only going to say is over 35 years. Max Meow, I came up with the idea, with the students pretty quickly. And when I do a book like this, which is 240 pages, that's a lot of pages to do for a comic. I had to come up with a style I could do fast enough. And it takes me, and I have some people who help with the color and the lettering. It takes about 6 months for me to do each book. And that's why the next book can come out in 6 months and hopefully the next one after that. I don't know if I answered them all there.
I think you did. Thank you so much.
Sure.
One of the students wants to know if you hide any secrets in your pictures, like some other illustrators they know.
You know what? I do. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but what I love to do in my Max Meow books is every time Max goes to Mindy's secret hideout lab, he has to take the elevator down. And I'm always going to have something weird happen. So he gets on the elevator, and then suddenly he goes down through this really weird path. And actually, if you look really closely, you might be able to see there's a certain beagle that pops up. So yes, I do try to hide little things that people might really appreciate. And then I like to hide things that are interesting to me or to my family. For instance, my son Will loves magic. So I made one of the henchmen, a robot named Reggie Reboot. I made him be a wannabe magician.
Awesome, great. A couple of students want to know where you're from.
Well, right now I live in the Washington, D.C. area in Northern Virginia. So I'm in Fairfax, Virginia. I grew up in Pennsylvania in an area that looked a lot like Clarksburg, and really had a great time there. But it's neat living near Washington, D.C. because I can, it's easy to travel up north or south. And I actually have a lot of friends that are cartoonists as well that live in this area.
Great. And I know we were scheduled to end at 1:30, but maybe we can go just a few more minutes if that's
Definitely.
okay.
I'd love to answer a couple more questions if possible.
Awesome. One of our students wanted to know how you made that book commercial that I shared at the beginning.
Oh, that's a great question. Well, one of the things I didn't mention was that I'm actually, I studied graphic design in college, which means that it's like design for books or magazines or even animation. And I used a program called Adobe Animate. And like I said, like my first introduction to superheroes was cartoons. So I always like to think of my books as kind of like a certain animated feel. So I taught myself how to use animation software back about 20 years ago. And I had other comic book characters I was working on, and I made some little cartoons with that. But when I came up with Max, it just seemed like a natural thing to create an animated trailer. And if you go to maxmeow.com, or I'm sorry, I have a YouTube channel that has that. There's also one for the second book, which is called Donuts in Danger.
Awesome. Yes. And when I was searching, I found the book trailer for that. So I'll put that in our classroom for the boys and girls to see along with the trailer for this, those who missed it.
That would be great. Yeah, not many people have seen that yet. So you'll be some of the first.
Very cool. One of the students wants to know what your favorite book is.
My favorite book. Well, my favorite book and my favorite movie are the same thing. It's a movie and book called To Kill a Mockingbird. And it's, it's probably for a little bit older audience. And I just love it so much. And it's just really special to me. As far as comics and graphic novels go, I grew up reading Batman and Spider-Man. They didn't have books like Smile and Sisters and Drama back then, but I'm a huge fan of those books as well. And there's one, often my son Will is my advisor on these things. He loves Middle School Misadventures and Amulet. And he likes to come along with me when we have comic book conventions, because we've gotten to meet like Kazoo and John Green, who does a book called The Investigators. I'm a big fan of that one as well.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to just have one more question. Someone wants to know your favorite superhero. Did you mention that earlier and I missed it?
I didn't mention my favorite superhero, but when I was growing up, it was Robin the Boy Wonder, because I just so wanted to be a superhero. And I kept hoping that if I dressed up like Robin enough, that my dad would eventually get a Batman costume and we could drive around town. And it never did happen. But I will say my parents were always very encouraging about drawing comics. And what, if it made me happy, they wanted me to try to do that. And I would say to you, if you want to draw or you want to create, one of the things to do is, just know if you practice 15 minutes a day at anything, you're going to get better. And don't be frustrated, or you know what, you can be frustrated, but just know that if you keep working at it, you'll get better.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So boys and girls, I wanted to let you know, a lot of you were asking in the Q&A about where you could get this book. And I was telling Mr. Gallagher before we started that I'm going to order several copies of the book, and they will be in our school library, but it'll take some time. I have to order them, I have to go pick them up, and then Mrs. Lefevre has to process them. If you would like your own signed copy of this book, you can place an order on our school's website, working with the Beyond Comic store in Frederick. But you don't need to go to the store at all. You're going to place your order online, and then I will go to the store and pick up all the orders and bring them to our school. And then I will let your grown-ups know when your order is ready, and you can come pick it up at our school. Okay?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well, we had 200 attendees today, Mr. Gallagher. So I am so excited we had that many students. And I was recording for students who couldn't attend today because I know some had other things they had to do at 1 o'clock. So we can't thank you enough for joining our school and sharing your new book with us. I know I'm excited, and I know a lot of our students are excited as well.
Well, thank you for having me, boys and girls. Thank you, Ms. Taylor, and thank you, Clarksburg Elementary. I just want to say how much I appreciate all the teachers and all the educators, everything they're doing to make sure classes go well. I have 3 kids of my own, and I know that this is a lot of work for them. And boys and girls, I know it's a lot of work for you as well. So thank you for your great questions and your advice on creating the superhero. And I hope you have a safe and exciting time creating your own characters.
Thanks again. Goodbye,
Yeah.
everyone. Have a great afternoon.
See ya.